Jesus Warriors Club once more, and today's topic is monsters and killers and life givers in astronomy. Astronomy is the study of the heavenly bodies, that is the planets, the galaxies, all those things that we see up in the sky. We talked about the solar system, and I was able to lead you up to the galaxy and lead you up to orphan planets. There is something I did not tell you. There are times when stars have a fracas with planets and some are thrown out of the system. Those are the orphan planets. But there are times when the engagement is the opposite. They are fracas and they are absorbed into the star. They burn completely. They end up being fuel for the star. So two things can happen in a situation where there are fracas. I say fracas in terms of disturbances due to reasons in the rotation of the planets, and some bigger planets catapult other planets out of the way, depending on the situation at that place before they find a balance. And sometimes they can be in a balance, and if something makes them run out of balance, then certain things happen like that. The star may be forced to eject some of them, or one of them, or sometimes absorb them, and they burn. That becomes the end. That is a theory that is there. Because now we are working on theories. I talked of faith, we've seen things that happen. I talked of many things yesterday. So it means there is God. There are powers beyond what we can be able to reason. But when it comes to now knowledge, we're moving at par. Everybody has been operating on theories. So we move with what is there, but keep the faith if you belong to a faith system, a visitation like me. I keep the Christian faith. If you are a Muslim and you can keep the Muslim faith or whatever faith, but if you are just a believer and you do not keep any of the faiths, just have faith. So what happens is, we learned that a galaxy is a collection of many star families. It's a small world by itself. Our galaxy, we learned yesterday, has got almost over 200 billion, not millions, 200 billion stars, the sun being one of them, and the sun and his family, and it's a dwarf star. They are average stars and they are giant stars. Like the star I was saying is 800 times the size of the sun, called Betelgeuse. It is a star within this system. So these systems move around a dark star. And today I'm going to talk about these dark stars. They are called black holes. And the theory is that the formation of these stars is when a star bigger than the size of the sun, about twice or more, or 10 times, runs out of its fuel, then everything crashes on top of it. It becomes smaller in mass, but it has a high gravitational pull. So it pulls everything in it, including light. You can't see light. It's only X-ray radiation that comes when the light, every material, and it becomes a monster. It eats everything that comes closer to it, from stars to planets, to light itself. And as it eats this, it grows, but it compresses them. So it is called a black hole because of all the instruments that have been used. Mostly it's that disturbance that is seen, so it's noted that is there. But naturally within the blackness of space you cannot note. That there is a main black hole that all these stars are rotating around. But within the solar system, there are other smaller black holes too. So mostly what happens, if accidentally a star gets closer in its rotation or whatever, it will be swallowed by the black hole. If light gets there, it will be swallowed. And they eat and eat and eat and eat. So that dead star that has massive gravity becomes a monster, an eater of other stars and planets and any material that comes around. They are life killers. And then there are also other types of things that happen. There are stars that get old and instead of becoming black holes, they become small and rotate at very high speeds, and they're able to destroy anything, including other stars coming within them, within their area. So they are, as much as they are life givers, they are also destroyers within the galaxies. Destroyers and killers. And sometimes there are accidents that happen. Because even within the galaxies, there are some stars also that get into problems and they are ejected out of their way. So they don't go in the rotation. They become rogue, they go freeway. So such a star, in case it meets another star, there is that ability, that possibility of them colliding. It will be a very big explosion, then it becomes one big star. It may destroy most of the things around them. Most of these big stars, when they die, hundreds of thousands of or billions of light years away. If they are near some stellar system, sometimes the explosion can kill life on all those others, or it can destroy even the nearest stars. Depends on the vastness of the star. And I was talking of the star that dies and it's rotating very fast, very small, destroying everything. It's called a pulsar. Pulsars are very destructive. X-rays. Rotates at a very high speed, it has become very small, but it's destroying even stars, even planets, anything that will come near it, it will destroy. Then they are life givers. Like nebula are clouds of dust, of stars that have died, of materials that have been collected. And sometimes they gain enough gravity and they start giving birth to stars. So a place like the Ego Nebula is a birthplace, a mother of stars. And interesting enough, most stars are born double, two. So in most systems, you'll find around 2 stars or more moving around one another, just like the Earth and the Moon move around one another. But their distances are great. They have planets, others have planets, and they're able to move like that around one another. There are some places with more stars within the same system, and it varies. Different planets, different things. So those are life givers in astronomy. They are able to give. And that means there is a birth and death of stars, just like people. Some run out of the fuel, they have exhausted, and they may die forming black holes, or they may explode, throw out most of their outer layers, and then now become dwarfs. Brown dwarf or something like that, or red dwarf. They burn and burn and burn and burn. And a smaller dwarfs, that is. And some of them may still maintain planets. People are still trying to find out if some of the red dwarfs may be having life on some of their planets. This universe is let me call it universe, is very interesting. There have been thoughts of the material that is being absorbed into black hole appearing in other places to generate other stars. And some people feel maybe generate other galaxies. And these ones are called white holes, but scientists know very little about them, because black holes are just eaters. But some theorize a place where some of the material eaten is left out, creating. So they are white holes. And we have got many, many galaxies with many names. Like the one next to us is spiral also. Andromeda galaxy is the one closest to us. It also has a shape, a similar roundish shape like ours, a wheel. Like there are others which have got different shapes. But the creative stars within that darkness is called nebula. It may stretch thousands of light years or millions of light years. Strange enough, there is a very large water reserve in the universe that they have discovered, stretching also over such a distances. So it's very interesting when we talk of the outside world, the outside things, and we move along with theories, because now that is where how we shall move. Because most of these things that we're talking about, people have not been able to see physically, or some have seen through telescopes and other instruments, and others have been computer simulation. You see the place, and then you simulate in the computer, and you are able to produce what mostly happens there. So there are also over 200, hundreds of billions of galaxies. We started with a star, many stars coming up, over 200 billion stars to form our galaxy. And also there are more than that number also of galaxies. So the universe is very vast, very unique, very strange. It has reached a place where the instruments that man use have reached a horizon they cannot be able to see beyond. As time went by, people were wondering what was black in space. And later there was also another lady, can't remember the name, we shall find out later, who on studying realized that blackness is not nothingness. It is a material that is inert in life, light, and these other things. So we have dark matter. And all that space that we see dark is composed of dark matter. And dark matter seems to be having an effect even on light and these other planets in their expansion, in the speed they are moving at, in the speed of the galaxies. So there is dark matter and there is dark energy. That's what I think the Vikings or whatever called Nix, creating in the dark, creation that goes on in the dark. So even within that dark places, some of the nebula or the material from that can be able to concentrate and because of gravitational pull, ignite, forming new stars, forming new planets. That is the fruit that people in astronomy have been eating. I'm not an authority, but I've thought it wise for us at this level that I understand, and the level that, because many are totally ignorant, they don't know anything about even the galaxies. They are not even, they have never taken an interest, but now it's a high time we get an interest in everything. Get to know what the others are talking about, what the others are doing, so that you have some knowledge. You should not be ignorant, or the one we call innocent. So that is generally how the world is. There are people who think the world is endless. There are others who think that the energy will reach a point where it will balance and there will be nothing going on. There are others who believe that the earth is always recurring. It comes to an end, then explodes and gets all over again, those of the Big Bang. There are others who believe that these universes are made up of membranes, so they collide and form new disturbances, new systems, new galaxies, new stars. There are theories that have come, but nobody knows, because they cannot be explained by the religious books, and neither can scientists explain them fully. And we can't be sure of simulation, because also sometimes computers simulate outside things that are programmable by us. So that is how it is. That is the situation. And from a layman's point of view, let's get that to it at that level. If you want more, you can be able to look at NASA or astronomical things in the computers, and you may gather more. Some places you may not be able to gather that much. Some places you'll gather so much that you'll be shocked. But it's good to know what is happening around. Do not be ignorant and realize there are forces beyond our explanation. And to me, that force is what I call God. That force that maintains everything. Because we're just realizing that even what we have been seeing is a small thing. It may be like a cell, one cell in your body, and the rest of the body is unknown. So we may be studying one cell in a larger occurrence or existence. We may just be dealing with a cell, we've not known it. But it looks like there are cells and cells forming a body, which we can only imagine. So, even our knowledge is very limited. But whatever we are talking appears to be shocking, because to a layman like me and you, it's just too much. But to those who are studying, there is so much that they don't know. And they are wishing they would know, because it's like we are centered studying in one side where we are seeing up to the horizon. We don't know what is on the other side. There are many things that happen. People can be able to study with those instruments, but those who do remote viewing, the other people can be able to visualize things with their minds. So nowadays the science field is open to remote viewing and to using instruments, because there is no one way that people can be able to tell. Even the people who wrote the Bible and wrote these things wrote things that can be able to interrelate with what we have now, but many of them may not have observed. So prophetically, if you can see, you can focus and give whatever you are giving. Astronomically, they can use those instruments. Where it's possible, they will use the probes and the rockets. But this is a very new area where everybody now is a learner. A scientist in NASA or that other place may only be better than you because he has been exposed by the instruments, exposed by time, concentrated more than you. But once you get to know up to the level he has known, then you are all students, gazing and wondering what is next. Keep the faith. To me, God is there. And God is that strong force that keeps everything everywhere moving. But now you realize that many stars have creative powers, many planets have creative powers, and creation goes on everywhere. But there is a power that controls everything that nobody understands, and to me, that is God. To some scientists, they just call it nature. But for anybody with faith, that big force, that mass, that controls beyond what now our instrument can see, and realizing that our instrument, what we are studying, may be just something within a cell of something bigger, then we should have faith in God, study with the instrument, study with every ability that we have, remote sensing, anything that can be able to see. If there are people who have got prophetic visions, use them. If they are diviners, use them. Sit at one place and be able to come up with a picture. I was surprised. I didn't know. First, I used to think that places like NASA or whatever just use the instruments and everything. Later, when I was seeing some material that are wrote and many people don't attend to, they appear to be secretive, I realized that even some people who are doing remote viewing of the moon, so many of the things before people could land there. There are some people who have done remote viewing of further planets, even outside our solar system, that people think may lead a clue to what is happening. So we have got those abilities. Those who can see what they have never seen with the mind, those who can see with the instruments, and we shall gather our knowledges together that way as we move on, because that's where we are left. Once you get to know what those in astronomy know, and you have known what is there in religion and interrelated, you come at par. You don't know anything more, you're learning together. That is my take for now. Why are you keeping this thing? Or let